Hey guys, so as you know, June has finally come to a close, so it is officially time to start wrap-up / to-be-read video making season. Yeah. So I read a grand total of 5 books in the month of June, which is not too bad. Could have been worse. The first book I read this month was Lola and the Boy Next Door, which I unfortunately do not have a copy of because I borrowed from a friend, but I'm sure you guys all know that it is the companion novel to Anna and the French Kiss. And honestly, I liked this book. I thought it was cute, I thought it was sweet, I thought it was fluffy, if that's an adjective you can use to even describe a book. Maybe. But overall, I didn't think it was as good as Anna and the French Kiss, and I definitely found myself sometimes reading Lola and the Boy Next Door just because I knew that characters from Anna and the French Kiss were included in this book, and I found myself not really caring too much about Lola and her boy next door. Which sounds terrible, but overall, I thought it was sweet, I thought it was cute, but I would definitely recommend Anna and the French Kiss more. The second book I read this month, I'm sure you guys will probably all recognize, because once it was kind of released, it just was everywhere in my bookstore. So I'm sure it was everywhere in your bookstore too. But that book is Entwined with You by Sylvia Day. I'm just going to show you the cover now. Just take a gander at it, because there'll probably be a glare and my iPad is heavy, so I want to put this down. You good? Okay. Entwined with You is the third book in the series, and I don't really remember how I even got into this series, but I do really like these books. Even though they're much more adult than I typically would read, I just find them to be really intense sometimes, and the characters just to be really raw, and the story to just be really powerful every now and then. And I also just really like Sylvia Day's writing style. She just really knows how to put pen to paper. Is that an expression? I think that's an expression. That might be an expression. So I'm very curious to see what she does for the rest of the series. The third book I read this month was The Forever of Ella and Mika. I never really knew how to pronounce his name. The Forever of Ella and Mika is actually the sequel to The Secret of Ella and Mika, which I read months ago just because it was like a $2 ebook and it looked interesting and cute and fun and it seemed like it would be a fast read. And then I found out that there was a sequel. So I read that, and I liked it. It was definitely cute and sweet, and, you know, I didn't really have high expectations or expect it to be the greatest thing ever written, so I enjoyed it. These books actually remind me of Beautiful Disaster by Jamie Maguire, so if that was a book you enjoyed, you might want to look into the Ella and Mika series, if that's what it's called. Maybe. The fourth book I read this month was The Elite, which is the sequel to The Selection. And I know that I have promised to do a book discussion video on this book, but don't worry because I will be doing that soon. I'm hoping to have that uploaded by Tuesday or so of this upcoming week. But if you're just dying to know my opinion on this book right now, I would say that I both loved and hated this book at the same time. Still trying to figure out how that's even possible. So yeah, look forward to that book discussion video because it's gonna have a lot of emotion. The fifth and final book I completed this month was Paper Towns by John Green. While I was reading this book, I definitely had my doubts. I thought it was very similar to Looking for Alaska, and I was afraid it was going to be like rereading that book and it wasn't going to be anything new, and that I'd just be totally disappointed and bleh. But I never should have lost faith in John Green because this book ended up being great. Loved the story, loved the writing style. This book had me laughing out loud sometimes, and it was just so moving and deep and just great. It was great. So if you're a John Green fan and you haven't read Paper Towns yet, what are you doing? Just what are you doing with your life? Go buy it now. So now I will be telling you guys the lovely books I have planned to read in July. The first book I want to finish, complete, and be done with this month is Beautiful Chaos. This is what it looks like. So pretty, so yellow, so golden. Beautiful Chaos is the third book in the Castor Chronicles, which follows the super popular Beautiful Creatures and Beautiful Darkness. And as you guys know, I wasn't the biggest fan of Beautiful Creatures, but I really thought the series redeemed itself with Beautiful Darkness. I just think there were a couple plot twists and interesting additions to the story that I'm really curious to see how they play out in Beautiful Chaos. I really just want to get this book done so I can finish the series this summer and be done with casters and mortals and incubuses and all that stuff. Just put it behind me. Yeah. The second book I want to complete this month is Crank by Ellen Hopkins. I kind of just realized that I own about 4 Ellen Hopkins books and I've never read a single one. So I'd like to change that this month. I really just want to get this one done this month so I can finally say I've read this book and finally say I've read an Ellen Hopkins books, and then maybe if I like this one I can read some of her other books that I own. Who knows, maybe she'll be a new favorite author of mine. Maybe. The third book I want to read this month, you guys will probably all recognize from my used books video, which if you haven't seen I will link down below, but that book is A Northern Light. This book is kind of like historical fiction, which is not typically a genre I would pick up, but I found it in a used bookstore. It was like 50% off, and I just couldn't resist. And it looks like it's an award winner of sorts. Yeah. So, I mean, it can't suck, right? It's gotta be good. The final book I want to read this month is The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight. I think I want to save this book for after the Booktube-a-thon because that week of reading will probably wipe me out and I'll be just so tired and just dead. So I'll probably want to read something a little lighter, and it's also a lot shorter than I expected when I ordered it. So I think it'll just be a fun, quick summer read that I'm hoping I'm really going to enjoy. I'm not going to take it too seriously, I'm just going to let myself enjoy it and just have fun with it. So that is pretty much it for my June wrap-up / July to be read video. In the comments below, let me know your thoughts, opinions, concerns, whatever you want on any of the books I mentioned. So as always, thank you guys for watching and I will see you soon. Bye!